In the book of Proverbs, Solomon invites us into the intimacy of his family circle. 23 times in the book, he addresses my son. 40 times he mentions mothers and fathers. 5 times he mentions a wife. And five additional times he mentions a wise, virtuous, or gracious woman, possibly referring to his wife. But let's allow the world's wisest man to now give us some instruction on preparing our children for heaven. First, we need to observe our children. Proverbs 20 and verse 11 says, "Even a child is known by his doings, whether his work be pure and whether it be right." The American Standard Version says, "Even a child maketh himself known by his doings." The phrase maketh himself known implies adult observation. Well, the very next verse says, "The hearing ear and the seeing eye, the Lord hath made both of them." Solomon seems to be saying that God gave us senses for a reason, and that was to use them to watch and to listen to our children. Now, some parents will develop a notebook in which they assimilate meaningful patterns and they keep up with things such as their interests and intelligence and the abilities and the social skills in their children's conduct. Well, we can certainly use this kind of information to turn our children's hearts toward heaven. But also, we need to approve of our children. A parent's approval is of such importance to our children. Solomon knew that he was his father's son, Proverbs 4 and verse 3, which is another way of saying that he had his father's approval. Solomon begins Proverbs by identifying himself as the son of David, not a preacher as he did in the book of Ecclesiastes, not as king, wise man, husband, or scientist, or any other description that you may want to use. He referred to himself as a son. Parents succeed when they create an atmosphere of acceptance and they foster a sense of belonging for their children. And this goes against the grain with some parents who set high goals for their children and drive them hard to fulfill those dreams. Well, this is a good point, but wisdom creates room for falling short and doing better the next time. And when a child feels that he is never good enough for dad or will never do enough to earn mom's approval, then frustration and depression can develop in that child. But also, we can focus so much on what children are not doing that we fail to see what they are doing well. One said a father needs to be on his child's team, not on his back. We must not expect an adult head to sit on a child's shoulders. We should remember what it is like to be there, to be a 3, 6, or 16-year-old, and give children room to make mistakes, to develop and learn and grow. Reader's Digest once said that rearing children is like holding a very wet bar of soap, too firm of a grasp and it shoots from your hand, too loose and it slides away, but a gentle but firm grasp keeps it in your control. But also, we need to show our children. In Proverbs 23 and verse 26, Solomon says, "My son, give me thine heart, and let thine eyes observe my ways." Friends, more is caught than taught. We need to understand that little eyes are always watching us. Little feet are always following us. Little minds are weighing our words and our actions. And our character is a river that is flowing past our children hour by hour. And one day our steps will likely be their steps. Our thoughts will likely be their thoughts, and our words will likely be their words. In 1 Kings 22 and verse 43, it says, "He walked in all the ways of his father. He turned not aside from doing it, doing that which was right." in the eyes of the Lord. And I think a very fitting way to sum up these thoughts today are in the words of Christ in Luke 10 and verse 37. Go and do thou likewise. Follow the example of Solomon. Take wisdom from the things that this wise man has set forth and share that wisdom with your children. Friends, we thank you for joining us for our program today and have a blessed day.